It looks like it's Cartoon Week this week, starting with Pixar, who teased their next feature film with the first trailer for Coco. Scheduled for a November 22nd release, the movie appears to be about a music-loving boy that steals a guitar and finds himself on the other side of the line between life and death. Looks pretty neat. Meanwhile, for fans of older cartoons, Time Warner has announced that Boomerang is expanding into a streaming service. Due out later this year at a price of $5 per month or $40 for the year, Boomerang will provide on-demand access to Warner Bros., Hanna-Barbera, and MGM characters like Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, and the Looney Tunes. It's unclear exactly which shows will be on the streaming service, but there does seem to be a mix of modern and classic cartoons to binge on. I'm not sure if the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla cartoon will be included in the streaming service either, but if it isn't, Netflix has you covered for your monster fix. Netflix announced this week that they'll be distributing a Godzilla anime movie produced by Toho themselves. The movie will be released on Netflix after it hits Japanese theaters on March 26th. Netflix describes the anime as the first ever high-quality animation of the iconic monster, which I can't help but feel is throwing a little bit of shade at the Hanna-Barbera and Fox Kids adaptations, both of which were very good for their time. And transitioning from cartoons to video games, Capcom announced this week that they'll be releasing the Disney Afternoon Collection. Set for an April 18th release, the $20 collection will feature ports of classic NES games based on early 90s Disney titles including Rescue Rangers, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, and DuckTales. While the ports aren't graphically updated remasters, they will have a few features that you won't find on an emulator, including Time Attack and Boss Rush modes. And for those of you that don't have the time to commit every enemy and jump in an old-school NES game to memory, the collection also features a rewind option that appears to let you redo mistakes, Prince of Persia style. Finally, there was some good news and bad news for Sonic fans coming out of SXSW this week. Sega revealed another throwback stage for the upcoming Sonic Mania, adding the Flying Battery Zone from Sonic & Knuckles to the list of reimagined classic levels. Unfortunately, it seems that it's taking longer to make the game than anticipated. Originally targeting a spring release, Sonic Mania has been pushed back a few months for a summer release instead. Meanwhile, on the 3D side of things, the mysterious Project 2017 has an official title now: Sonic Forces. The new game will feature both modern and classic Sonic, along with a third, yet unrevealed gameplay type. Of the three, Modern Sonic got some gameplay footage released, and yep, that looks like a modern Sonic game. Hitting the theaters this week, we have, good God, Power Rangers. I've tried to give this movie every benefit of the doubt, but the more I see from the trailers, the less interested I am. Next up, we have Life. Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal discover a mysterious alien lifeform that turns out to be more dangerous than expected. It's Alien, basically, right down to the one generic word title, but hey, Alien is great, and this looks great too. Still, if they do a sequel called Lives, well, that would just be silly. And speaking of silly, chips. So, you know what bothers me even more than remakes of classic TV shows being parodies? It's the logo for this movie. Look at that. The I and the S aren't lowercase. It's supposed to be an acronym for California Highway Patrol. The I is only there because the word needs a vowel, and the S is just what makes it plural. This is just wrong. This whole movie is just wrong. What's next? A MASH remake that doesn't have the asterisks? Over on television, if you've already marathoned through Iron Fist and want some more, or better, martial arts action, Into the Badland returns this week for its second season on AMC. Meanwhile, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles returns to Nickelodeon for its fifth season. Rebranded as Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it looks like this season is going to feature a range of different themes, bouncing the turtles around sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genres. And over at the Disney Channel, Tangled the series kicks off for its first season, presumably coming up with an excuse to regrow Rapunzel's hair. In video games this week, if you didn't pick up the new Bomberman game for the Switch, you can get a cheap fix with Splody. It's not the prettiest game in the world, but it does seem to have a lot of different environments, and it supports an absurd number of local co-op players. Next up, Toukiden 2 appears to be a Monster Hunter style game, but while the trailer is admittedly pretty cool, it doesn't show any actual gameplay footage, so who knows. The same can be said about Troll and I, which I presume lets you switch between the human protagonist and her giant troll companion, but again, it doesn't seem like there's any actual gameplay in this video game trailer. On the other hand, 88 Heroes has gameplay to spare. Developed by the studio behind Super House of Dead Ninjas, this game features 88 levels, each centered around a different character with their own unique mechanics. And finally for PC, Red Death is a vertical shooter with a neat visual style that has you engaging in combat with, I think, a number of gods and maybe Cthulhu. Over on consoles, Mass Effect Andromeda comes out this week, and BioWare seems to have innovated a whole new way of infuriating their fanbase. This time not because of an unsatisfying ending, but because of some unique animation quirks. That brings us to this week's CGBros video, Perfect Fit by Vladimir Stanovishky. It's not a long video, but the ending is worth it.
How are your reflexes?
Hey, what's this?
Excellent.
Yeah, perfect reflexes.
And finally, in this week's awesome video, Lindsay Sterling has a cosplay compilation for Beauty and the Beast that I'm guessing was shot while on tour. Still, it looks like they're having fun. That's everything for this week, so what's your favorite classic cartoon? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, pass this video around to your friends, and have a great week!